Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special unboxing video on a Monday morning, that's exactly what we're going to be doing. So as always, I'm going to turn this into a bit of a guessing game if I can, which is going to be interesting with this particular one. But before we start, I just want to say a big thank you to you guys, to be honest, because this in here and what I'm about to show you and tell you in a second, again, just wouldn't be possible without any of you. So I think people have been with me for a long time now, and even if you haven't, if you're new to this channel, my sole goal, I think, of was starting the channel up, to be honest, was just to be able to video and showcase every single figure made in Generation 1. So from 1984 all the way up to 1993, including European exclusives, which obviously live in the UK, so they're a little bit easier to source, but also Takara Japanese exclusives as well. And because of this channel, everything's just amplified. It's sped up so fast. So obviously I was buying a few things here and there, selling a few things here and there, and it was just taking, it's still enjoyable, it was an enjoyable process, but everything was taking its time. Whereas with this channel, the exposure, people contacting me, etc, things have sped up drastically, which is great because it means that I get to open things like this, and again I get to do videos on these for you guys, because again I got some comments the other day just saying how grateful they were that I was, I would showcase, indeed, review a rare figure, because a lot of people, if they've got the figures and they like to hide them and keep them to themselves, etc. I want to get a video done on them all so you can all see them and share them with me. And again, this wouldn't be possible without you guys, people in the Discord buying my movie figures off me, anything that's left over, people whoever's buying anything from me left on eBay, thank you, because as soon as I sell something on eBay, it goes straight into the funds to purchase things like this. And this has got a funny story as well. There's an English saying that something doesn't show up, but like a bit like London buses, so you won't see one for ages, but then all of a sudden 2 or 3 will appear at once. And that's exactly the same with this. This is a really, I'm going to be completely honest, it's a really sought after Takara Japanese Generation 1 exclusive figure, not used, or sorry, this is one of the ones that didn't make its way into Hasbro's hands, and they didn't recolor it for their own use. So this is, and it's boxed, so it's quite small as well. I'll give you more clues in a second. But yeah, I hadn't actually seen, I think I'd seen 1, maybe 2 on some of the Japanese auction centres. I mean, we're talking over a 10-15 year period, hardly any at all. And then all of a sudden, funnily enough, it's, like Chuckaloo put one up on his website yesterday in box, and a good friend of mine, Neil Rockman, who I brought the Browning figure from, he agreed to sell me his about 2 years ago, and well, no, it's over a year. It was sometime last year, but obviously we're into the next calendar year, because it wasn't where he was taking his collection, and that's exactly what I've done with mine. A lot of my, in fact, all of pretty much my sealed movie figures have now gone. So thank you to Tyler, thank you to Brandon, everybody who's purchased them from me. That's just not the way that my collection's going. I've still got the movie bots loose, etc., but most of my sealed ones have gone. And I always encourage this with collectors, if there's something you can't even display, unless of course you want to keep it or it's for monetary value, then of course keep hold of it. But unless you can physically see it, then for me, I want to be able to see everything, hence everything on display, etc., things like that. Now, this particular figure itself, this is, as I said, it's a 1987 though, so it's a 1987 Takara, so it's from the Headmaster's cartoon. And I've got to be honest with you, I don't recall seeing these in the cartoon at all. I need to go back and rewatch them all. So I say these, there's only 1 figure in here. However, there was 4. They are still really elusive. There was 4 really special Japanese only exclusive releases. And the special thing about these 4 is that 2 of them could combine. So in fact, there was 2 pairs of 2, and they could both combine. And still not trying to give too much away. And yeah, they never made their way over here at all. In Japan, the Takara cassettes were not always packed on a card, they were packed in a box, hence why this being a really small box as well. The figures in question, the other 2 figures in question that came out at the same time, have actually had a reissue. Recently, I think about 2019, they had a reissue. So I just thought you could see my address on the box, but you can't, it's just the sticker. And whereas these ones didn't, not to my knowledge, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I've not seen these at all, this particular one. So yeah, so anyway, so I purchased This is the new one. This is the one that I found on eBay, unbelievably, on Wednesday for a ridiculous price that I just had to snap it up. So thank you to Octopus Surprise. I don't know his real name. That's his eBay seller name. If you're watching this, because here is the figure. So it's in a nice little box. So there was 4 of them. There was 2 sets of 2 they could combine. They've got Japanese, as far as I'm aware, only names, so I'm going to butcher this, unfortunately. I apologise if I do. But yeah, so Neil Rockman sent me his literally about a month ago, the one that I used the money from the NEC to actually pay off. So he sent me that, and then with the money that I've still got left over from the NEC, I was able to buy this as well, so I can now start to complete the display how I want to see. I don't think I'm ever going to do it, to be fair, because they're just so rare. It's silly. You never know. Who knows? Especially with the look I've had recently. So this is, for those of you who know your Takara numbers, it's C for Cybertrons, who is an Autobot, and it's 1214. And as I say, it's one little guy. His in fact, this is really interesting. So he's not a robot as in a robot. What alternate mode is like a creature, and the main mode is not a robot. It's not a headmaster because we've done all them, and it's not a godmaster because we've done all them. So this is the alternate mode being a tape, a cassette. And this is, I think in Japanese it's pronounced Zaru or Zarur, but I think for the rest of the world and me butchering it, I think we just call him Zor. And I've finally got my hands, I say finally got my hands because this one arrived only a couple of days before. So I can really do this figure some justice, do a nice showcase. And these aren't the KOs because I've seen a KO and I'm going to get a KO from somebody to do the, what's the word I'm after, the differences. But yes, I can do a video on 1987 Takara Japanese exclusive Zor, and I will be doing it very, very soon. Let me know in the comments if you got it. Once again, thank you to everybody for all the support, even just watching this. I really appreciate it. Thanks very much. Take care.